President-elect Donald Trump still has multiple lawsuits against him to deal with. He faces 4 outstanding criminal cases, 2 of which are at the federal level. He also faces multiple civil cases. Here to tell us what comes next is trial attorney Jeremy Rosenthal of Rosenthal, Calabas, and Tarian. Welcome back, Jeremy. Now that Trump is president-elect, what do you see happening in the 2 federal cases overseen by Special Counsel Jack Smith?
Those are going to go away one way or the other. They're either going to go away by the Justice Department dismissing the cases themselves. Jack Smith is currently said to be winding down his role. It could go away if the president, Joe Biden, the current president, pardons Donald Trump. That may be something that the president considers given the American people and their decision on Tuesday. Another way that this happens is Donald Trump has already pledged to fire Jack Smith. He can't do it, but his new attorney general could. It's a little stickier than that, but that's how those federal cases go away.
Jeremy, you just mentioned something that I haven't heard anyone talking about, but it's pretty interesting, the idea of President Biden actually pardoning Trump. Is there anything that gives you reason to believe that it would actually happen? What makes you bring that up?
Legally, it's an option. And it would probably be more preferable for Donald Trump to accept a pardon from Joe Biden than it would be for Donald Trump to pardon himself. When Gerald Ford pardoned Richard Nixon, it was done for the sake of the country, so we could just sort of move on and be done. Again, I'm a lawyer. I stay in my lane. I'll let the politicians make what they think to be the best political choices. But legally, that would be a pretty clean end to all of these things.
Okay, and in the New York business records trial, Trump has been convicted but not sentenced yet. His legal team is trying to argue that as president-elect, he's entitled to the same legal protections as a sitting president. How much leverage does this argument have on that case?
At the moment, not much. Judge Marchand has a handful of options right now. First off, on the 12th, he may potentially throw the case out. I doubt that he will. It would be based on the immunity issues and some of the testimony that came in the case from Hope Hicks when he was at the White House. The Supreme Court said that was off limits. The question is, did that affect the whole trial? I don't think Judge Marchand is going to go there. But at the sentencing, the judge can abate the case. He can probably put it on pause. He can allow Donald Trump to appeal, and let's see what happens there. And then we'll come back and deal with this when the case comes back from appeal. In theory, he could sentence Donald Trump to 20 years of prison. That would, in all likelihood, trigger some of the claims that you just mentioned, which would be his lawyers coming back and trying to make some sort of supremacy clause argument. But probably what happens is either Judge Marchand exercises an option that I believe he has in New York State, which is he can convict Donald Trump without sentencing him and just be done, or he puts him on some kind of probation where Donald Trump really just doesn't have to do anything. Maybe starts checking in 2029 once he's out of the White House. But I don't think anybody expects there to be any type of serious punishment here.
Okay, and Trump owes $500 million after the ruling in his New York fraud civil case. Where does this case stand, and does anything change now that he's president-elect?
That one doesn't go away. There's a case from the 1990s involving Bill Clinton where he was sued civilly, and the Supreme Court back then said you can sue a sitting president civilly. So right now, as that stands, that one's going to be unaffected. Maybe Donald Trump tries to change that precedent. But at the moment, that case is still ongoing. It's on appeal. The arguments have been given, and he is still on the hook for the fraud case and the sex assault judgments that have been levied against him.
And then moving south to the state of Georgia, the criminal case there is in basically disarray after allegations of inappropriate conduct amongst the case's leadership emerged. Trump cannot pardon himself in state-level cases. So could this gain momentum once again, you think?
Maybe, but not anytime soon. This case, like you said, it's super stuck in the mud right now. It's on appeal. The question is Fani Willis able to stay on the case, or is she going to have to give it up and let somebody else handle it. If she is ordered to give up the case, it's going to be an orphan. And they're going to have to find some other prosecutor to do that. And now that Trump again is the president of the United States, or will shortly be the president of the United States, you would think that a lot of the you would think that you're not going to find a whole lot of takers on that. So that one is the furthest away, if you will. But again, it's on appeal and stuck in the mud. I don't think we're going to hear anything about that one anytime soon.
And just last question here, looking ahead, what legal protections will Trump have as the sitting president, and could he face more lawsuits when he's in office?
Potentially, yes. I mean, he can be sued civilly, and I believe I've heard rumblings about defamation suits from this campaign based on things that he may have said. He wouldn't have immunity from those. Now, once he takes the Oval Office, he would be subject to the immunity that was outlined in this last summer's immunity opinion, which is to say that any kind of official act he would have immunity for. If you remember back to Watergate, President Nixon, they called it the Saturday Night Massacre, where he fired multiple attorney generals because they wouldn't fire the special prosecutor. And we all thought that that was impeachment level stuff. Well, now the Supreme Court has made it clear that the president of the United States, that's his job, is to direct the Justice Department. That's his job, to direct the attorney general. So Trump can absolutely hire, fire, promote, demote an attorney general based on their actions with the special counsel. So Trump's going to share, he's going to have a lot of immunity once he gets into the Oval Office.
All right. Trial attorney Jeremy Rosenthal, thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a great morning.